Hi, and welcome to Conectados, a weekly space where we connect with resources, with technology, with ideas, with neighbors, with stories, and much more. I am your host, Cris Oviedo, and I am very happy to be with you today. Conectados is a space that looks to connect us to one another and bring us together. And today we're connecting with our weekly financial wellness segment, a real estate tip of the week, and we will also discover the Harriet Tubman Cultural Center and much more. And we start connecting with our holiday happening segment. These aren't your typical holidays. They are those quirky, fun, and observances that give us reasons to celebrate the little things in life. Let's explore the unique holidays from February 26th through March 4th with some fascinating facts that might just surprise you. Starting with today. Today, February 26th, is National Tell a Fairy Tale Day. Did you know that fairy tales date back thousands of years? And while we often think of the Brothers Grimm who published their collection in 1812, the earliest known fairy tale, The Tale of Two Brothers, was actually written on papyrus in ancient Egypt around 1300 BCE. What's fascinating is how fairy tales evolved over time. Those original Grimm tales, they weren't exactly kid-friendly. The early version of Cinderella involved the stepsisters cutting off parts of their feet to fit into the glass slipper. And the Little Mermaid's original ending was, well, let's just say Disney made some significant improvements. Studies show that fairy tales play a crucial role in child development, helping kids progress emotions and understand moral concepts. So today, why not revisit a classic fairy tale or create your own? The tradition of storytelling connects us across generations and cultures. February 27th is National Strawberry Day, the day when we celebrate these delicious red berries. Here's something that may surprise you. Strawberries aren't actually berries at all. Botanically speaking, they are aggregate accessory fruits, with those tiny yellow seeds on the outside being the actual fruits. Americans consume about 3.4 pounds of fresh strawberries per person each year, and California produces a staggering 90% of all strawberries grown in the United States. That's over 2 billion, with a B, pounds annually. Strawberries have been cherished throughout history. Ancient Romans believed they had medicinal properties, and in medieval times, strawberries symbolized prosperity and perfection. They were even carved into church altars and painted in manuscripts. Here's a fun fact. Strawberries are the only fruit with seeds on the outside, about 200 seeds per berry. So when you're enjoying these vitamin C powerhouses, they actually contain more vitamin C than oranges. Remember that you're participating in a tradition that spans centuries. February 28th is National Floral Design Day, a day that honors the birth of Carl Rittner, who founded the Rittner School of Floral Design in Boston and revolutionized floral design as a recognized art form. The history of floral design stretches back to ancient Egypt, where Egyptians were arranging flowers in vases as early as 2500 BCE. These weren't just decorative, they held spiritual significance in rituals and ceremonies. Different eras had their signature styles. Victorian arrangements were lush and abundant, while Japanese ikebana, dating back to the 7th century, focuses on minimalism and the spiritual connection between humans and nature. A fascinating study from Rutgers University found that flowers have an immediate positive effect on happiness and a long-term positive effect on mood. Participants in the study reported feeling less depressed, anxious, and agitated after receiving flowers, with increased satisfaction and enjoyment of life. So next time you see an arrangement of flowers, remember, you're participating in an art form that's been bringing joy to humanity for over 4,500 years. And now we're all calling all peanut butter fans. March 1st is National Peanut Butter Lovers Day. And I bet you didn't know that Americans consume 700 million pounds of peanut butter annually. That's enough to coat the floor of the Grand Canyon. Peanut butter has a surprisingly recent history. While peanuts have been ground into paste since the Aztecs, modern peanut butter was only developed in the 1890s. Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, yes, from cereal fame, patented a peanut butter process in 1895, originally creating it as a protein source for patients who couldn't chew solid food. The average American child will eat about 1,500 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches before the graduating high school. And here's a fun fact. By law, any product labeled peanut butter in the US must be at least 90% peanuts. Peanut butter has been to space, served as a high-protein military ration, and was even included in the original astronaut space food. Whether you're team crunchy or team smooth, it's about 50-50 split here in our nation. Today is the perfect day to celebrate this beloved spread. March 2nd is National Read Across America Day, which coincides with Dr. Seuss' birthday. He would have been 121 years old. Theodore Seuss Geisel created some of the most beloved children's book of all time, with over 650 million copies sold worldwide. Reading statistics are fascinating. According to research, children who are read to at least 3 times a week are almost twice as likely to score in the top 25% in reading compared to children who are read to less frequently. The National Read Across America Day was established by the National Education Association in 1998 to motivate children to read. Since then, it's grown into the largest reading celebration in the country. A surprising fact, just 6 minutes of reading can reduce stress levels by up to 68%, according to researchers at the University of Sussex. That's more effective than listening to music or taking a walk. So whether you're reading Green Eggs and Ham for the 100th time or driving into a new book, remember that you're not just enjoying a story. You're building neutral pathways and reducing stress at the same time. March 3rd is National I Want You to Be Happy Day. This heartwarming holiday is all about spreading joy and kindness. While its exact origins are unknown, it embodies something scientists have been studying for years, the contagious nature of happiness. Research from Harvard and the University of California shows that happiness spreads through social networks like a virus. When someone becomes happy, it increases the likelihood that a friend living close by will become happy by 25%. Another fascinating study found that performing acts of kindness produces the single most reliable momentary increase in well-being of any exercise tested. Scientists call this the helper's high, that warm glow that you feel after doing something nice. Throughout history, philosophers from Aristotle to the Dalai Lama have emphasized happiness as a central human goal. The pursuit of happiness is even enshrined in the United States Declaration of Independence. So today, consider performing a random act of kindness. Science suggests it might make you even happier than the person that, guess what, you are helping. And on March 4th, to celebrate proper grammar, during National Grammar Day. This clever wordplay holiday was established in 2008 by Martha Buckenbrook, founder of the Society for the Promotion of Good Grammar. Language is consistently evolving, and what was considered incorrect yesterday might be standard today. For instance, Shakespeare invented 1,700 words we use regularly, including bedroom, generous, and even swagger. Here's a mind-blowing fact. English has borrowed words from at least 350 languages. About 80% of English vocabulary isn't originally English at all. Punctuation has saved lives, literally. Consider the difference between let's eat, grandma, and let's eat grandma. That comma is doing some heavy lifting. Whether you're a stickler for proper semicolon usage or someone who occasionally confuses your Y-O-U-R and you are like Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, National Grammar Day reminds us that language is a powerful tool that connects us all. So there you have it, a week's worth of fascinating holidays to brighten your day and give you something to celebrate. Which of these holidays resonated with you the most? Please drop a comment below and let me know which one you will be celebrating. And up next, we have Jasmine from Making Change joining us with our financial wellness segment of the week. Something to celebrate right now.
Hi, it's Jasmine Brewer, Executive Director of Making Change, back to give you some more tax tips. We are well underway with tax season 30 days in. We started January 22nd, and I want to make sure that you are aware of some more tax tips that might help you. So did you know that in Maryland there is a renter's tax credit that might be available to you? Some of the eligibility includes the following. If you are a renter who is age 60 or older or 100% disabled, if you have a total income of $73,000 or less, or if your monthly cost of rent meets the income guidelines, then you might qualify. Another bucket that may make you eligible for this is if you are under age 60 and you have at least one dependent. So you have someone in your household that you are responsible for financially for more than half of the year. If your total income is less than $56,000, or if you meet the income guidelines, then you could qualify for up to $1,000 in a tax credit as a renter in Maryland. I bet you didn't know that. So make sure that you check the guidelines to see if you meet those income requirements. And if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to Making Change. You can either give us a call at 443-518-7649, or you can send us an email at Vita, B as in Victor, I as in income, T as in tax, A as in assistance, vita@makingchangecenter.org, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. And if you still need tax help, you need help finishing your tax preparation for this tax season, we can schedule an appointment for you as soon as possible. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope that these tax tips have been helpful for you. And if you may have missed something, go back and check out those other tips that we listed. Or, of course, you can give us a call or send us an email with more questions. The next series that we have will cover some of these rental topics and tips and tools that might be helpful for you. So tune in for the next series that we have that'll focus on more rental-related topics.
Thanks, Jasmine, for coming every week and giving us tips. We have a whole series around taxes, tax season, how to prepare, things to keep in consideration, tax credits. So go back and check those out on our page at Cris Oviedo. And stay tuned. Like Jasmine said, we have a whole series of renters coming up for you in this month of March. Next, we have Santiago Carrera joining us with the real estate tip of the week.
This is Santiago Carrera, and here is another tip while you're selling your property. For those who have investment properties or rentals, you have a lease in place. A couple options you have is selling the place with that lease to the potential buyer as an investment property, or try to negotiate with the tenant to move out sooner. Usually it's better to sell a property when it's vacant, and especially a rental. Sometimes tenants are not really well organized and they might make the property look not so great. And of course, you want to get top dollar for your property. A suggestion is to have that property vacant if it's possible. So, see you next week with another tip while you're selling your home. Bye.
Thank you to Santiago Carrera and his team for joining us every week. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with more.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful angel. Love your imperfections, every anger. Tomorrow comes and goes before you know. So I just had to let you know the way that Gucci look on you.
So I'm going to start showing you a little bit more of my morning routine, my makeup, and, the products that I consume, pharmacy, as you could see in that video. I hope that you enjoy that. You're going to see a little bit of a more fun side, maybe a little bit of a more personal side of me with some of those videos that I'm going to be sharing with you in the coming days. And if you have any questions, I've dropped my phone there for you, so you can feel free to send me a message and, we can chat about it. But we are back with Conectados in our weekly space to connect with resources, information, and most importantly, with one another. I'm your host, Cris Oviedo. And I couldn't let February pass by without taking some time to reflect upon Black History Month, which we've been celebrating throughout this entire month. This annual observance began in 1926 and it was created by historian Carter G. Woodson, who chose February because it coincided with the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. In 1976, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month nationally, acknowledging the essential contributions of Black Americans to our collective history. Black history is woven into the very fabric of this nation, from music to science, literature to politics. Black Americans have shaped American culture in profound ways. The revolutionary sounds of jazz pioneers like Louis Armstrong, the literary brilliance of Toni Morrison, and scientific innovations of Dr. Charles Drew, who revolutionized blood banking, these contributions represent just a fraction of Black excellence in American life. Importantly, Black history encompasses the rich diversity within the Black community, including the significant contributions of Afro-Latinos, whose dual cultural heritage has enriched American society. Figures like Arturo Alonso Schomburg, an Afro-Puerto Rican historian and writer, laid the groundwork for Black studies by collecting thousands of pieces of Black literature and art that now form the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in New York. Roberto Clemente, the Afro-Puerto Rican baseball legend, broke barriers in sports while becoming a humanitarian icon. Celia Cruz, the Afro-Cuban queen of salsa, who transformed American music with her powerful voice, her infectious energy, and a little bit of her very popular azúcar, creating cultural bridges through art. More recently, Afro-Latina actress Gina Torres has broken stereotypes in television, while journalist Soledad O'Brien has brought important stories to light, particularly those at the intersection of Black and Latino experiences. The poet Elizabeth Acevedo of Dominican heritage explores Black Latino identity in her powerful written and spoken word. These individuals represent the vibrant tradition of Afro-Latino excellence that has too often been overlooked in mainstream narratives of Black history. Civil rights history also reflects the power of collective action. Rosa Parks, whose quiet courage sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose dream of equality continues to inspire, and Barack Obama, who broke the highest racial barrier in American politics. These individuals represent moments of transformation in an ever-evolving country. And here locally in Howard County, we have a lot of history to learn, honor, and celebrate as well, which is why today I want to invite you to discover the Harriet Tubman Center and learn more about the rich history right here in our neighborhood. So sit back and enjoy this quick video. We're exploring one of Howard County's most important historical and cultural landmarks, the Harriet Tubman Cultural Center in Columbia. This building stands as both a testament to our complex past and a beacon for our community's future. The story of this center begins not with Harriet Tubman herself, but in 1948, when it was constructed as the Harriet Tubman High School, the only high school for Black students in Howard County during the era of segregation. Before integration, Black students in Howard County had to travel to Baltimore or Montgomery County if they wanted to attend high school, until local Black families and churches advocated for the school to be built. From 1949 until 1965, the Harriet Tubman High School served as the only secondary education option for Black students in Howard County. The school became a source of immense pride for the local Black community. Despite receiving fewer resources than white schools in the county, Tubman High School's dedicated teachers created a nurturing educational environment, and its students achieved remarkable success in academics, athletics, and the arts. When we step back and consider the era, this was a time when many rural counties didn't provide any high school education for Black students at all. So while the separate but equal doctrine was inherently unequal, The existence of Tubman High represented both the injustice of segregation and the determination of Black Harris County residents to ensure educational opportunities for their children. The school operated until 1965, when Harris County finally integrated its school system, over a decade after the landmark Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court decision. When integration happened, Tubman High was closed rather than integrated, and its students and teachers were dispersed to other schools in the county. After integration, the building served various purposes, as a maintenance facility, school board offices, and even a Head Start center. But for decades, many felt its important history wasn't being properly honored. That changed in 2015, when former students of Harriet Tubman High School, now in their 70s and 80s, began advocating for the building's preservation and transformation into a cultural center. They formed the Harriet Tubman Foundation and worked with county officials to secure funding and support. In 2018, Howard County officials designated $1.3 million for renovations of the building, with the Maryland General Assembly providing additional funding. After extensive renovations, the Harriet Tubman Cultural Center officially opened in September 2021, preserving much of the original structure while creating modern, functional spaces. Today, the center serves multiple purposes. It houses a museum that documents the history of segregated education in Howard County, with photographs, yearbooks, and memorabilia donated by alumni. Original classroom features have been preserved, and oral histories from former students and teachers provide first-hand accounts of life at the school. The center also functions as a community hub for educational programs, cultural events, and discussions about race, equity, and civil rights. It offers workshops for students and teachers about local Black history, hosts community conversations about current social justice issues, and provides meeting space for community organizations. The naming of both the original school and now the Cultural Center after Harriet Tubman is deeply significant. Tubman, who was born into slavery in Maryland and became one of the most famous conductors of the Underground Railroad, has strong connections to Howard County. Historical records indicate that Tubman likely passed through what is now Howard County while guiding slave people to freedom, possibly using routes along the Patapsco River. The center honors Tubman's legacy of courage, determination, and commitment to freedom, values that resonated with both the school's original mission and its current purpose as a cultural center. Perhaps most importantly, the Harriet Tubman Cultural Center represents our community's commitment to preserving and honestly confronting all aspects of our history. By maintaining this physical space, Howard County acknowledges the reality of segregation while celebrating the resilience of those who fought for education and equality. The center reminds us that progress isn't inevitable. It requires people willing to stand up, speak out, and work together. Just as the original Tubman High School represented the community's determination to provide education despite systemic obstacles, today's Cultural Center represents our collective responsibility to remember this history and continue working toward a more just society. If you haven't visited the Harriet Tubman Cultural Center yet, I encourage you to do so. It's located at 8045 Harriet Tubman Lane in Columbia. The center is typically open for tours by appointment and hosts regular public events. You can find more information on their website or social media pages. By supporting this center, you're helping to ensure that this crucial piece of Howard County history continues to educate and inspire future generations. The story of Harriet Tubman High School, from segregation through preservation, reminds us that our local history is American history, with all its complexities, challenges, and triumphs. So as we close Black History Month, I encourage all of us to carry its spirit forward year round. The stories of Black and Afro Latino excellence, innovation, and perseverance deserve recognition as essential chapters in our American history. By understanding our stories and our history, both its painful chapters and its triumphant ones, we build a more complete picture of who we are as Americans and what we can become together. Black history isn't just a museum, isn't just in textbooks or in cultural centers. It's being made every day in our communities by teachers, organizers, artists, and everyday heroes working to build a better future. As we move from February into March, let's commit to continuing this journey of learning and recognition, honoring the full diversity of Black experiences that have shaped and continue to transform the United States. We're going to take another quick break and we will be right back with more of Conectados. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we are back with Conectados. We are back with more. We're getting ready to wrap our show for today. But I do want to take a minute and I want to reflect on something that is both deeply personal and yet universally relevant. And that is a positive impact that faith can have in our lives. Faith, in its essence, provides a foundation of meaning and purpose. When we face life's inevitable challenges, loss, uncertainty, or difficult decisions, faith offers a framework that helps us make sense of our experiences. Research has consistently shown that people with strong faith often report greater life satisfaction and resilience during hardship. This isn't simply about religious attendance, but about the inner strength that comes from believing in something greater than ourselves. One of the most powerful aspects of faith and its ability to foster community. Whether in houses of worship, spiritual gatherings, or informal support networks, faith brings people together across differences. These connections provide practical support during difficult times, meals during illness, comfort during grief, celebration during joy. But they also offer something more fundamental, the knowledge that we are not alone on our journey. Faith also encourages practices that benefit our well being. Prayer and meditation have been shown to reduce stress and anxiety, while mindfulness practices rooted in various faith traditions help center us in the present moment. The gratitude that many faith traditions emphasize has been linked to improved mental health and stronger relationships. Even the simple act of setting aside time for reflection, whether through formal worship or personal quiet time, creates space in our busy lives to reconnect with what matters most. Perhaps most importantly, faith often inspires compassion and service. When we believe that every person has inherent worth and dignity, we are moved to treat others with kindness and to work toward a more just world. Faith communities throughout history have been at the forefront of social change, establishing hospitals, schools, and organizations dedicated to helping those in need. On a personal level, I can say that faith motivates me to extend forgiveness, to practice patience, to show up for others in meaningful ways. So, and I want to be clear that I am not trying to lure anyone into a particular religion, because as I said earlier, this faith goes beyond religious practices. Whatever your personal beliefs, there's something beautiful about the human capacity for faith, our ability to hope, to find meaning, and to connect with something that is beyond our immediate circumstances. In a world that can feel very much fragmented and uncertain, faith reminds us that we are part of something larger than ourselves, that even our smallest actions can be infused with deeper purpose and meaning, and that we are really, truly all connected. That what's happening in your space of the world, believe me, it affects those who are around you. And our faith communities are communities where we can find support, where we can find, just sometimes somebody to listen to us, somebody to be with, somebody to share in with, both the good, the not so good, and the painful that comes in life. So I want to close our show today wishing you good health, wishing you faith, a faithful life, to live a faithful life, happiness, unwavering faith, so that you will remain strong and courageous as you face any circumstances that may come, with the knowledge that faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen yet. Thank you so much for joining me every Wednesday at 9 a.m. in English and every Fridays at 9 a.m. in Spanish. If you have a topic, if you have an idea, suggestions, or comments, please email them to me at info@crisoviedo.com. I'm about to drop that email, excuse me, in the comments for you. That's info@crisoviedo.com. You can also reach out to me, via text or on my social media pages. Also, if you or someone you know, like a family member, a neighbor, a teacher, coworker, anyone in your community who you think has a beautiful life story, something worth telling. It could be funny. It could be painful. It could be over something that they've overcome. It could be just a wild experience. Like anything that you think it's worth telling, right? Like the other day I was reading a post where it was like, tell us something about that you think you're the only person who's done it. And it was skydiving. It was things like teaching overseas. I mean, just stories like that, just stories that make our lives so beautiful. If you or anyone you know has stories that you would like to tell, please, 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 please reach out to me. I'd love to start telling people's stories and just putting them out there for everyone to know. So, and if you enjoy the content today and you found it valuable, I hope that you will share it with others so that they too may benefit from it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being part of Conectados. Thank you so much for being part of this community and for allowing me to enter your phone, your computer, and accompany you wherever you are every Wednesday at 9 a.m. in English and every Friday at 9 a.m. in Spanish. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, enjoy the weather. It's a beautiful spring-like day here in Maryland, so enjoy the weather. And until next time, I'll be back. I am Cris Oviedo.